Taking a while. Happy Friday, everybody. It's Myra Eagle with eXp Realty. And over there's David.
It's
With
Friday already. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you got some great news for us today, don't you?
Yeah, we've got all sorts of good news because this market is just crazy, right?
Yes.
Um, but it was just recently announced that there's a proposal, $1,000 first-time homebuyer tax credit. Woo! Now, let me clarify a couple of things because everybody's getting excited about this. But before you get too excited, this first-time homebuyer tax credit, if you read the fine print, it would be paid upfront to those who are first-generation home buyers, which means that if their parents have not owned a home. So there's a little bit of a little caveat in there too when you read the fine print, right? And
Wow.
then I know I don't want to deflate it because it is pretty darn exciting, right? So if your parents haven't owned a home and you look to buy a home, you could be getting that $25,000 first-time homebuyer tax credit. Another cool thing, though, is the housing starts were up almost 20% in March, right? So last month, they were up 20%, right? That's huge, huge. That's much stronger than any expectations. The year-over-year figures are a little bit skewed due to builders not building this time of year, which the figure is up about 37% year-over-year. But the single-family home starts are up over 15% month over month, and they're already up ahead of that anyhow because they're 40% year over year. So that is crazy right now because last year was a big year for home starts, right?
Right.
And we've never seen numbers like this before.
And we're getting better, yes. Well, everybody's going to new construction now because they can't buy resale. There's no inventory, and if there is inventory, there's already 30 offers on that home.
It's crazy. Like the house down the street from me, I mentioned that, they listed it for 700,000. I said, there's absolutely no way. It's sold for 8, right? My friend that is calling off his past clients, they bought last year, and so he does new home sales, right? So he knows how much the value's gone up. And last year there was a community right down the street here, well, not right down the street, a few miles away, right? That was selling all their homes starting at about 400,000 as the base price, right? The base price for those same homes is now 615
from last year.
From last year. So he's calling all the people that bought with 3 or 5 or 3.5% down or even 10% down and said, hey, listen, your value's shot up. I'm going to refinance you. And although the rates are comparable, they get to drop their $300 a month in private mortgage insurance.
Wow.
So people are clamoring to do that. So if you're paying private mortgage insurance, call me or call my team members because it's crazy the value, how they're going up right now. I think it was Google, one of the top searches in Google right now is when will the housing bubble burst? And those of us in the southern states, right? I'm not talking about New York or Maine or any of those other states. I'm talking about the good economy states, Texas, Florida, parts of Georgia. You know what I'm saying? The good economy states, right? There is no end in sight, right? You go like here, people are like, well, California's got a good housing market too. Yes, but those numbers are always skewed. The Californians are rushing to our state like as fast as they can.
Yeah.
And they sell the shack that they have in LA, right? And when I say shack, I'm saying it loosely, right? No offense to any Californians watching this, but you know what I'm talking about if you're from California. They sell the shack in LA for 1.2, 1.5 million.
Wow.
They come to Texas and they say, "Oh my gosh, I can buy twice the size for 500,000, right? Yeah. I'm going to buy 2, maybe 3 of those." Yeah. Oh, and you wanted 500,000. Well, I've got nothing but cash. I'll give you 600,000 for that, so that nobody beats out my offers. And that's what they're doing to our markets right now. So is it creating a bubble? It's hard to say. We've been saying it's creating a bubble for the last 3 years. But what happens to those prices? Everyone's like bubble, bubble, bubble. But I don't think it's a bubble because we've got lots of jobs. We've got a lot of people, a high demand for Florida, high demand for Texas. You know what I'm saying? Not a high demand. Well, there's still the housing market in like New York is still doing okay, but nothing compared to Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Florida is booming. It's really hot. Everybody wants to buy in Florida. Even the lots, the vacant land is selling fast, which is good.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
People are just tired of being in bad economies. They're tired of riots. They're tired of political upheaval, right? They want to just go to work and live at home in peace, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those. I got Michiganders that are talking about moving down here. They've been locked down indefinitely in Michigan, right?
Yeah.
And they're making fun of me. They're like, "Oh, you Texans, you guys don't wear masks. You know, one, you don't wear masks. Two, you guys, everything's fully open. We never did a second shutdown. We were supposed to, but that never happened. All the restaurants around here were open. Nobody was wearing masks. Well, some people were wearing masks, but just about nobody wears masks anymore. Nobody's got corona. We all go to Six Flags. We all go to the beaches. We all go to the parks, right? We're out playing volleyball, having a good time. And it's shocking because, you know, Michigan's on lockdown. And like my aunt that lives out in the middle of nowhere, right? It literally in farm country, Michigan, just came down with corona. She hasn't seen another human being in 3 months.
Oh, no.
Right, but you got Texans all smashed in together, and nobody's getting corona. So it's very bizarre down here. I can't explain it. I'm not a doctor or anything, right? But like our economy is just booming because of that. You know, restaurant owners want to be here because they want to have an open restaurant. Restaurant owners want to be in Florida, right? All of your self-employed people that are getting shut down in those other states, they don't have a choice. They have to move here. Does that make sense? Are you seeing a lot of that in Florida too?
Yep. That's weird, isn't it?
It's crazy. I don't understand it, you know. I'm a finance guy. Ask me about finances, I got you covered, right? You ask me like corona spreading in certain states and other states. I haven't a clue. I'm like, man, that just baffles it. As long as I don't get it, I'm good, right? So.
Yep. Stay safe. Wash your hands. They're here in Florida about last month. I think they stopped making mandatory masks.
Really?
The sign, masks must be worn. Now it's please wear a mask because we're wearing a mask to protect you. That's, you know, something considerate. I still, when I go out, I wear a mask. I'm sorry. I've got to protect myself. I've got to protect others. So
yeah, I'll wear a mask entering a building. But then, you know, we take it off when we're eating and everything else. But most people now just don't even bother. They're just like, whatever. But, you know, I wonder if there's something to that because I've never got corona, right? And we've gone everywhere. But I've always been maniacal about washing my hands. My parents were always like, don't touch public doorknobs. I even use like a napkin. Even pre-corona, I'm that weird dude because gas station handles, literally, I'm not kidding you, are some of the dirtiest things on earth. I was reading a study years ago that McDonald's toilets are cleaner than gas station handles.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they never get cleaned. People are going, oh, and then they pump their gas, right? People use the bathroom, come out, and then they pump their gas. People are picking their nose and pumping their gas. It's gross, right? People are gross. I mean, thankfully, Corona's changed a lot of bad habits. So I don't touch gas handles, right? And that's just I'm just quirky like that. And that could be why.
Before COVID too, I would carry my Lysol can to the hotel room.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. I do too.
And people look at me. It's like, hello. Yeah.
Yeah. Those people cleaning those rooms are paid minimum wage. Do you think they're really scrubbing it down? I'm not saying that they do a bad job, but they're just going to once over it real fast. And you don't know what people have done in there beforehand.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody misses something. I go and I spray before we touch anything. Doorknobs, light switches, remote control. I spray it all.
So have you ever there's a show about hotels, and there's a guy that goes out and he kind of like revamps hotels and such. Have you ever seen that show? It's kind of like an older show, maybe like 2010 or something. A short guy, he's got a bald head, and he sometimes will pretend like he's a guest, and he'll go and he'll check into a hotel, and then he'll grade them, like how was their food, how was the cleanliness, how was all this other stuff. Never watched that show. If you stay at a hotel, never, ever, ever watch it. Dude, he, like, honestly, he took a black light and he was shining it around.
Oh, no.
And black lights pick up, fluid, bodily fluid, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't stay at a hotel for like 2 months after that. Like, don't ever, please never watch that show.
I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Some of the gross stuff that they did at the hotels, I was like, oh, yeah. But
he probably did the same one. What's in the kitchen at your local restaurant too?
Oh, you don't even want to know.
I want to watch that.
You don't even want to know. But so I've always been kind of maniacal about cleaning stuff. Even before that show, we'd go in, we'd wipe down all hard surfaces and everything. So I think that being cleanly has a lot to do with it, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but
your immune system and what your diet with the vitamins and stuff, that could be it, helping out.
Yeah,
you're your Flintstones, aren't you? You're looking for your Flintstones chewables.
It's funny because the vitamins that I take, just because I get a high stress environment, right? Anybody watching this, if you bought a house, you know how much paperwork is involved with that, right? Now try helping like 50 people buy houses, right? Yeah. Now my team does that, right? But anytime something goes sideways, customer can't find a doc, somebody lies about their income, like that never happens, right? Or exaggerates the income, or exaggerates how much money they have in the bank to put down on a home, right? Nobody would ever do that, right? I've got to fix that thing. So I'm under a little bit of stress, but I take so many vitamins. I get these like AM and PM packs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. There's omegas, there's cell-wise or Provax CV, I don't know, multi-mineral vitamin, a multivitamin vitamin, and then another omega supplement, a couple of other things to fortify. I think that's like a probiotic or something.
Right.
I don't know. My friend who's a health nut buys this stuff, and I'll tell you, it's potent. I never get sick, like ever.
Wow. Pretty good.
It could just be a placebo. Hey, I'm taking all these vitamins. I'm going to be healthy, right? Who knows?
Who knows? Hey, we haven't gotten sick. Thank God. Thank God. We got work to do. I got to sell homes, and Dave's got to get those homes financed.
Yes. Lots of homes to finance right now. So I would say, guys, I wouldn't worry about what they're saying about in the media, the housing bubble, because you know what's going to happen too. If they start giving out $25,000 to people, and there's another one that's like a $15,000, this general one that they're giving out, plus the down payment assistance programs are back, plus the jumbo programs are back. So a lot of people sitting on the sidelines are now coming out and buying houses. And there was so much demand before, and the inventory is less, right? So the inventory is still like this, and the demand's like this, and growing. There can't be a housing bubble in markets like that, right? There are other markets where the economy is shrinking, right? We talked about self-employed people having to leave, right? When they shut down all the restaurants in a town, those restaurant owners aren't buying cars, so now the car dealership hurts, right? Those restaurant owners aren't going to the ice cream shop, so now the ice cream shops are hurting, right? They're not going to the grocery store, so now the grocery store is hurting. So now the grocery store person, doesn't buy a car because their business is slow. So it's that trickle effect, right? But when all those restaurant owners flock to Myra's area in Florida, then that demand just starts spiking, right? Like it's just because now they've opened up a new restaurant, they're making lots of money, they're going out buying a car, they're buying a bigger house. The car person just made commission off of that, so now he's buying a house. You know what I'm saying? It's a trickle effect, right? It
Yeah.
when everybody wins. So I wouldn't personally like. I'm looking. As soon as my house is up north in a not so good market to sell, Myra's going to help me buy some investment properties in Florida. I'll cash them out in a year or two when they've gone up a couple hundred grand in price.
Right. Yeah, they're still going to go up and build equity. So
Yeah.
you could buy now because you're going to have equity in a few years, along with having an investment.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy because people talk about, well, the bubble of 2008, right? Well, that was a weird, there's measures in place to make sure that doesn't happen again, right?
There is.
And I know from the lending side, there's a lot of measures in place. There's a lot of people that call me up. Do you have the no income loan? No, we stopped that because of 2008. So, yeah, hopefully we'll continue to stop that. But here's the deal. Like, let's say you did buy in Cape Coral back in 2005 when the bubble was at its peak, right? And let's say that, yes, the value of the home shot through the floor back then, right? But you look at today, let's say you held onto that property, it is now worth twice as much as it was when it was a bubble, right? So you only get pop if you sell. Otherwise, real estate's the best investment ever because it keeps going up. So anyhow, I'm just, I just want to deflate all those bubble people out there, right? Because there's a lot of them. They're waiting on the fence, waiting for the bubble to pop, and all they're seeing are the prices going up. Waiting on the fence is the most expensive thing you can do right now.
Yes. Yep. So
Sorry, I just had to throw that out there.
If you have any questions about those tax credits available for home buyers, give Dave a call down below or give me a call. Our numbers are right there for you. If you have any questions at all. Right, Dave?
Yeah, give us a shout. We're more than happy to chat with it. We can look up the area. We can tell how it's doing. You know what I'm saying? If you want some tax credits, there's a lot of, even if you're not a first-time home buyer, there's so many different incentives that we offer right now. It's crazy.
There's rent-to-own programs out there. There's also the home buyer down payment assistance and closing costs up to $10,000 available in some areas, just depending on how you qualify, and it doesn't take but answering a few questions.
And since the values are going up, the appraisals are going up, and so sellers are doing seller concessions all day long for people who need their closing costs and prepaids and taxes covered. So, like, even if you didn't want a down payment assistance program, you got 3% down on a $200,000 home. That's only $6,000 out of pocket. The sellers are taking care of the rest right now because they're motivated because their next house is, they're waiting to move to their next house. So it's just a wonderful time. So.
Yep. Well, that's about it for today, isn't it, David?
That's it. We gave you a lot of information. Sorry it took a little bit longer, but wanted to tell you about some cool stuff. Wanted to diffuse a couple of things and give you guys lots of encouragement. Because it's a Friday. It should be fun, right?
Everybody have a wonderful weekend. See you next week.
See you, Myra.
Bye, Dave.